Hey, what's up guys? This is Joe from Analog Archive back with another vinyl video. Today's video is going to be a contest entry for Andy from Next Play Records. His push to 200 subscribers March Madness contest. So right now, March Madness is going on with college basketball. People have already made their brackets. The games have already commenced. Like last week they started. And so this is kind of the perfect time to be making a contest, especially with Andy being a big sports person. This fit really well into that. So first, congratulations to you, Andy, for me being close to 200 subscribers. Definitely deserve that. Great records that you've been showing off, great videos and content. Have really enjoyed watching your videos since you started, and really happy to enter your contest. So what Andy wanted us to do was to kind of simulate making a bracket. You would have the four regions, the East, West, I think it's like North and then Midwest to be exact, but there's just kind of be the four different regions, and he wanted us to pick our four kind of favorite genres and talk about two records in each and have them square off with each other, and then for the one to move on to the next round, kind of the final four, and then ultimately the final two, and then whatever the record is that would win it. So again, thought this was a really great idea, and really happy to enter. So the four regions that I decided, the four genres, were going to be jazz, folk, blues, and psych. Those are definitely the top four genres that I collect, especially jazz and blues. Have really enjoyed collecting folk, especially early on when I started collecting records, and then same with the psych, like psychedelic rock. So for the jazz, the two records that I chose, these are definitely the top, definitely top 10 records. One of my favorites of all time, Open Sesame, Freddie Hubbard. Just a really great debut album by him. This was the record that got me in to Freddie Hubbard. This is the kind of the one that brought my attention to him. So really glad to have gotten this last year. This is an original mono, so it's really sounds incredible, and really happy to have that in the collection. That one's going to square off with one of my other top ones, Let Freedom Ring, Jackie McLean. I've shown this one before. Was really happy to have gotten this record. This is definitely my favorite Jackie McLean record, and I think it's one of his best on Blue Note. Just really dialed in even though he was trying, kind of experimenting with newer styles of jazz that were coming to be in the early 60s with kind of more of the avant-garde sound. He always comes back to that hard bop roots that he was so great at and so well known for. So another really great one with the jazz part. And then for folk, it's going to be You Don't Mess Around with Jim Croce. I've shown this one in countless videos. This is an absolutely amazing folk record. I think this is one of the best singer-songwriters of all time. It's a shame that he didn't really have a chance to blossom and really see how his career went after the success of this, but a really incredible session with that. And then against that is going to be Gordon Lightfoot's Sunday Concert. I don't know if I've actually shown this one. I may have early on, but this is a live concert that Gordon Lightfoot did in 1969 at Massey Hall in Toronto. He was already Canadian, so he probably was kind of giving back to his roots, but a really great live session, playing a lot of the real big songs that he had up to that point. This was before the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald or Sundown or many of his other songs that he became more well known for in the 70s, but it's got a few really great ones on here, and really happy to have gotten that. So those are the folk. And then the blues, Black Magic, Magic Sam, another one that I consider to be probably one of the better records in the genre overall. I just think that this is a masterpiece of a blues record. Really great guitar playing. His voice was was perfect. This really great tone to it, and really happy for that one. This is definitely probably my favorite blues record. But another one that goes up with that one pretty well is Buddy Guy, Junior Wells, Play the Blues. There was a very well documented in terms of the number of records that Junior Wells and Buddy Guy did together. This was one of the earlier ones that they did. This one was in 1972, but just a really great kind of back and forth, mostly Junior Wells singing, but Buddy Guy gets to sing, I think, on one or two of the tracks, but a really great one. Definitely going to be a tough kind of showdown for those. And then the last one is Psych. So Surrealistic Pillow, Jefferson Airplane. I just think that this is also a masterpiece of an album. Just somebody to love, just coming right out the gate with Grace Slick's voice. Just really, really great sound to this record. Unfortunately, they weren't really ever able to replicate this. They went in different directions, and maybe it was just sign of the times, but this is a really great album. So one of my favorites. And then another great Psych one is Odyssey and Oracle, The Zombies. So really glad to have gotten this one as well. Was looking for this for a long time, and then I was able to stumble across this a few years ago for a real reasonable price, and just really glad to have this. Definitely a staple in the kind of Psych department. So we will start the showdown with the jazz. So again, we have Open Sesame, Freddie Hubbard versus Let Freedom Ring, Jackie McLean. I would say of these two, there's, I mean, they're both very similar styles, both kind of hard bop sounds and records, but I would have to go with Open Sesame as being kind of taking the prize. So we'll move that one to the side, and the Open Sesame will move on. Next one for folk, again, it's Jim Croce versus Gordon Lightfoot. Have to go with Jim Croce, even though this is a great session. Really, all the songs on here are great. I just have to pick Jim Croce. It's just it's a perfect album, in my opinion. So I have to go with that one. So Jim Croce will move on. Next one, so we've got Magic Sam versus Buddy Guy and Junior Wells. Tough one to choose between these. Again, very similar styles, both Chicago blues styled albums, but I would say in terms of just completeness and just the sound of the albums, I have to go with Black Magic, Magic Sam. It's just tough to beat that, but this is a very close second. Again, any day of the week I would choose this one as well, so really great one. And then the last one, Surrealistic Pillow versus Odyssey and Oracle. My decision for this one is really based on which one I think provides just amazing tracks after amazing tracks, and I think I have to go with Surrealistic Pillow. I mean, Odyssey and Oracle is definitely a staple, is a really recognizable cover, even though this isn't the original cover. This is kind of a zoomed in version or part of the original cover. This was part of it, and they just zoomed in on that to create the second version cover. But I just have to go with Surrealistic Pillow. Every song on here I really enjoy. I really like the difference in sounds between a lot of the tracks. Some of them are a little bit more folky, acoustic sounds. The other ones are very electronic, psychedelic sound. So I'm going to have to go with Surrealistic Pillow. All right, now we're down to the final four. So this is going to be, it's going to be jazz versus folk. So we're going to have Freddie Hubbard, Open Sesame versus You Don't Mess Around with Jim. And I would say that of the two, again, you're getting to the point where totally different genres of music, but I just think that overall, this Open Sesame still is going to take the prize. So that'll continue on to the championship, and it will go against either Black Magic or Surrealistic Pillow. Of these two, I would say that if I had to choose just one, I'm gonna, I think, go with Surrealistic Pillow. I just think, again, it's an album that I haven't really listened to in a bit, but I just think that it's just a masterpiece of an album, and it's tough to really have song after song on an album just be absolutely incredible, and that's what you're going to see for this one. So we're down to the championship between Open Sesame and Surrealistic Pillow, Jefferson Airplane. And probably to no surprise, I would have to say that Open Sesame is going to take the top prize. But just again, both of these albums are incredible. All the ones that I chose are some of my favorites in their respective genres, and ones that I would gladly pick any day of the week. But just this album, for him to have been about 21, 22 when this was recorded and ultimately released in 1960, it's just, it's difficult to find better kind of starting sessions, and so I have to go with Open Sesame, Freddie Hubbard, to win it all. So again, thank you, Andy, for putting on this contest. Really enjoyable to go through different genres and be able to kind of brainstorm and think about some of my favorites in each of them. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please think about liking and subscribing, and I will see you in the next final video. Bye.